Good morning and welcome in everyone to the Fantasy Six Pack Network. This is Best Ball Breakfast with Bruni. I appreciate you guys jumping in this morning with me, going over some Best Ball ADP, and of course, jumping into a live Best Ball Mania 5 draft. Go ahead and smash the like button, share the video, and follow the Fantasy Six Pack Network on YouTube as well as other socials, Twitter, X, Facebook, all that good stuff. We are going to get right into it here. We have top risers that we need to go over, top fallers. There haven't been too many, big movers or shakers in the market, we'll say, but we do have some names to go over here. We'll be reviewing our top 10 risers, top 10 fallers, and Best Ball Mania 5 ADP across the last 7 days. This is all courtesy of BBMDB. Shout out to Pat Donovan again for putting that together. It's a great resource. It's a great tool. Lets you review, the trends right now. Going into the peak here of fantasy football season. We're now in the month of July. Early happy 4th of July to you all as well. We're just a couple of days off of the national holiday, but yeah, I'm able to review players, ADP, how it's shifting across. The last week, the last, day, if I need to know, the last month, and in total since the start of the contest. So today we are just going over the last 7 days here. So names we're going to be covering, we've got DeMario Douglas, Noah Fant, Jalen McMillan, Elijah Mitchell, Greg Dortch, Drake Maye, Jalen Polk, Rashee Rice, Demarcus Robinson, Adam Thielen, and Jordan Addison and Kamani Vidal. That is the top 10 risers, so we will start with them. Let's take a peek at DeMario Douglas, who looks like he's up 10 spots in the last week. That's our biggest riser thus far. He dipped as low as pick 193. That's about round 17 in May, and now he's all the way up to pick 161. I want to be a little bit more cautious when I'm approaching the New England Patriots receivers. This is a very middle group, at least as it looks on paper right now. You have DeMario Douglas coming back from last year, but you also have Kendrick Bourne in there. Juju Schuster is still under contract. They added Jalen Polk. They added Javon Baker. They also added KJ Osborne in the offseason. I really like KJ Osborne. I don't know if he's going to flourish in this offense per se. But overall, I'm not looking to reach for a Patriots wide receiver. Now, if you're looking to get into some unique roster, building, he is 98% drafted. So where you might think like, oh, well, I could get, DeMario Douglas and Drake Maye and Hunter Henry at the back end of my draft, maybe even throw in there some Antonio Gibson. And look at me, I've got this unique Patriots build. This drafted percentage over here is really showing you it's really not that creative because plenty of people are drafting DeMario Douglas. And my money would say if they are drafting him, they are probably also looking to stack him with some other Patriots for free, in these later rounds here. So I like the player DeMario Douglas, but I really don't like a price surge for any Patriots receiver whatsoever. I might pay a little bump on Ramondre Stevenson. He got the nice contract deal, but he's someone that I've liked all offseason. And if he were to have a climb, say like, Elijah Mitchell here, 3 spots, or a Rashee Rice or Jalen Polk or Demarcus Robinson in like a couple 2.2, 2.5 spots, I'm okay with that. You can actually see here Drake Maye going up a couple of spots as well, up to 193 from 195 in the past week. So that Douglas Maye stack, starting to be a little bit more common, like I said, and he's 92% drafted. So again, not really that creative. It'll be more rare for sure. It'll be unique, but it won't be as unique as, say, Drake Maye and Kendrick Bourne or Drake Maye and KJ Osborne. If you're looking to be different, if you're looking to react with the market, then by all means, buy DeMario Douglas at cost. But I like these other receivers that they have that are going to be cheaper. I can get any one of them for free in the last round. Next up, we have Noah Fant. He's up 4.1 spots. Let's take a look at his ADP chart. He's at about pick 179. And yeah, huge climber here. He started off at 198, dipped all the way down to 200. And now, 7-1, July 1st, he's up to 179. So making up quite a bit of ground here, almost about 20 picks. I really don't hate it. I have definitely been in on Noah Fant in the last week. I've done my part to boost his ADP by 4 spots. But no one that is, miraculously going to bring home incredible production by any means. I think that, he's just kind of a last ditch effort for a tight end, whether you went great with like a Mark Andrews or a Trey McBride or a Kelsey or Laporta. And then you're like, you know what? I just need somebody else. I need a warm body next to this stud tight end. Noah Fant fits that build. And also, again, kind of friendly, getting in some stacks, getting in Geno Smith late. That's a nice little late round tight end quarterback combo that you can go with that feels a little bit more trustworthy than, say, a Hunter Henry or a Drake Maye. So, yeah, I'll buy the increase there. Tight end 23, he might be undervalued a little bit, but not much. I don't think I go much farther north than this 179, maybe 175 range. I think that's a good kind of stop point for Noah Fant, whose production will still probably be limited this year. You have DK Metcalf. We're all in on the emergence of JSN. He'll have a breakout year. Tyler Lockett's still there, catching the ball, going right down to the ground, practically what a tight end does anyways. And then you have Kenneth Walker there that's going to get some good run this year. And Zach Charbonnet, again, kind of like a JSN, probably going to make some moves forward. Jalen McMillan, a very popular one I've seen over the last couple of weeks. He does have a drafted percentage of 73, which is nice because you get a little bit more leverage with him. Very similar to Greg Dortch that we're going to talk about here soon. He has a 35% drafted percentage, meaning that there are less rosters that have this player. Jalen McMillan is going to get up there, though. Like, he is going to get into the 90 percentile. This, whatever it is, 27%, it's all loaded up from the prior weeks, like the opening of, right here, where he's going undrafted through this period, probably all the way up to, the beginning of June. And then people start to figure it out. Oh, wait, he's apparently going to be a part of the offense. He's going to be a big part of what they do. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I even want to buy this adjusted cost because it seems so significant versus, the later round value that we were getting out of him. And me personally, I've just loaded up on a lot of Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. So I think I really need that to work out. And I might be able to hedge my bets grabbing Jalen McMillan on the back end. But unless I get, like a Baker and Kate Otten, I'm probably not going to load up Jalen McMillan. Maybe I have some front end, Tampa Bay players like a Rashad White, Evans, or Godwin, and I can back him up with it. But typically McMillan for me is, again, just kind of like a last ditch effort. Oh, hey, I need a tight end here. Well, I got Kate Otten. Well, how about Baker? Throw him in the mix there. Throw Jalen McMillan in the stacking mix there. I do like that last week 17 game they have with Carolina. I think that is going to be a good return on our investment. I think there's going to be points in that game. So give me some Jalen McMillan. Again, this is kind of similar to Noah Fant. I don't want to continue to pay a higher cost. 190 to 200 I can live with. There should be some draft rooms where he's falling, like where you're getting better value. Next up, we have Elijah Mitchell. Not a huge leverage piece here. I think just more the public are getting in on him. Crazy start here. In April, he was pick 179. He fell all the way to pick 199. That's that Isaac Garendo factor. Oh, they drafted a running back. That's the end of Elijah Mitchell. And then no nice words were said about Isaac Garendo through this entire period. And then, woo, here we go, all the way back up. He was at 179. He's back at 181. So cost corrected. I'm okay buying Elijah Mitchell anywhere in this range. You're getting a handcuff and a very good offense that can leverage the running back position very, very well. There's really not much to talk about here with Elijah Mitchell. He's just a handcuff to the best running back in the league. However, I do believe that the 49ers, if there was a significant injury to a CMC, they're probably also the type of team that will go and just like add somebody like, they could get Dalvin Cook to average 4 yards on the ground. They could get Jerick McKinnon to, have an emergence of his Kansas City production. Running backs can do amazing things in that offense. So I'm not too focused on getting Elijah Mitchell. unless I'm really getting into some like week 17 correlation with Lions, stacking with other Niners. I'm just not overly interested. It's a handcuff and stacking type of option. I love Elijah Mitchell, the player, but I think I can do better. Like there's a lot of running backs I like back there, and we'll kind of touch on them through the draft. Mr. Greg Dortch on the rise, doing his thing. Started off at 214. He's all the way up to 207. Really not much of a climb here. I mean, as far as like distance, the needle is not as telling as it might be. This is pick 212 to pick 207, that little straight line right there. So still free, still a last round pick. 35% drafted percentage. That makes him a little bit more of a leverage piece for you. You can get a little bit more creative because people just have not been drafting him. So Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, they've caught the eye of Kyler Murray in the past. I am not super high on Marvin Harrison's ADP. I think it's a miscalculation. It's a misprice. I would prefer Trey McBride at his cost over Marvin Harrison. Not to say that I would prefer Greg Dortch over Michael Wilson, who goes maybe like a round before, maybe two. But I do like grabbing some of these guys like Dortch, like Zay Jones in the back end of the draft. They have a nice Week 17 game up against the Rams in a dome. That'll be nice. So you can get some easy correlation picks out of Dortch, Jones, like I said, Wilson in the back end of the draft. And right now, Dortch is the guy, I believe, with the lowest draft percentage. So that makes him actually a little bit more valuable to you. And Greg Dortch and Kyler Murray have been very close. So there's no issues for me there. Another couple of Patriots, Drake Maye, Jalen Polk, both at only 2.2% increase in the last week. Nothing really to write home about here. I would you see DeMario Douglas has a later ADP than Jalen Polk. Jalen Polk going at 140. So again, that does make DeMario Douglas a little bit better of a price. For some reason, I thought they were going at similar. I guess they do have Polk a little bit higher. Polk, obviously being the rookie, having a little bit more hype. Again, I still just don't want to be first to market here with these Patriots receivers. I can get any one of those guys that I am still comfortable with my last pick, like a KJ Osborne, Juju, Kendrick Bourne, etc. Rashee Rice, I still don't understand it. I guess his price could climb even higher than this once we get news that he's either suspended, not suspended. That would be that like the suspension would be small. Like if it was only 3 games, I could absolutely see this price climbing a little bit more. I'm not touching a lot of them. Obviously, you see him 100% drafted. I just prefer to get him in a lobby that has disregarded him. Like there's plenty of times that if you're drafting high volume, if you're going upwards of 100, 150 drafts, there's going to be opportunities where you can buy them 5, 10, even 15 picks after ADP. So that's where I want to get them. I'm not going to get a ton of Rashee Rice regardless. I'm more interested in Hollywood Brown's ADP because I know that he's going to be there all year, and I think that it's a very good price. We'll probably see him pop up on our queues in this draft. So still not buying the Rashee Rice hype. To open up, he was much lower than this. Let's see his chart here. Yeah, this was the heyday. Pick 85, and then he would fall to like 94, 97. Like that's where you were wanting him, and that's where I have drafted. I mean, I have drafted Rashee Rice, but at this price, not at the 7 pick ADP 70 where we're at right now. That's a little bit more rich. This only says he was at wide receiver 47, but you were getting him much later than that. All right, last couple here, and then we're going to switch over to the fallers because we have to get into our draft. Demarcus Robinson, I'm buying that trend. He's going to be the wide receiver 3 for the Rams. Offense that's going to have to throw the ball a lot. Him and Stafford had a nice connection at the end of last year. You could see that there was some chemistry being built up. Adam Thielen, I know I shouldn't do it, but I just continue to get him as my 7th, as my 8th wide receiver. It's very difficult not to. And this chart here just clearly shows the emergence of the public. He's gone up roughly 10 spots. That's going to continue to happen. So, if you're one of those folks that's holding out for all of your drafts as close as you can to kickoff, this is kind of what you're disregarding here. And I know that you're telling me like, what, Adam Thielen? I'm missing out on Adam Thielen value. Yeah, you are, because this is the difference between getting him as your 5th receiver and your 8th receiver. Like this amount of room, like 12 picks at the back end of your draft. There's going to be all of whatever's left over going really quickly. It's going to fly off the shelf because everyone and their mother is going to be looking for that name that they know, that has some reliable stock. You don't need Adam Thielen to go off for 1,200 receiving yards, 80 catches where you're getting him drafted. If he brings you home 50 or 60 catches for 700 to 850 receiving yards at this value, that's a very, very good value. And that's kind of what I'm expecting out of him this year. He's going to still be playing second fiddle to Deontay Johnson. He was the guy last year, but I'm expecting the Panthers to take a step forward. And I think that even at 34 in a leap year, Adam Thielen can still be, providable. He can still bring home a meal or two, maybe McDonald's. It may not be, prime rib, but McDonald's will keep you fed for a day, maybe two. All right, Jordan Addison and Kamani Vidal. I've been buying the Kamani Vidal uptick. It's only about 2 spots here. Not a whole lot going on there. Same thing with Jordan Addison. I would like Jordan Addison at a little bit of a bigger discount. I'm just not that excited for anyone other than Justin Jefferson or Aaron Jones or Ty Chandler in that offense. I just like 2 running backs. I'll take those. They got to run the ball a lot. Justin Jefferson, I'll take that. It's hard to trust everybody else with Sam Darnold throwing the ball or a J.J. McCarthy at the end of the year. So for me, I'd like to get a little bit better value on Addison. And as you can see, like everybody's up and down with him. He was at a much better value at pick 71, wide receiver 39 in May, but we're just completely back and forth. We cannot make up our mind. He's up to pick 66 now. So that is about a 5-spot climb, but he's just going, ping pong up and down here in between pick 68 and pick 66. So steady she goes. I'm a little bit more cautious on his value right now, though. Let's switch over to the fallers, and then we're going to be getting into a draft here soon. Cheers. Be sure to smash the like button. I'm having me a nice little virgin. I don't even remember what you call it. It's just orange juice. Vodka orange juice. Screwdriver. It's a virgin screwdriver. I should remember. It was like one of my first drinks I ever had as a kid. Disney World. Yeah. Breakfast with Mickey. My old man was a G. He's like, get this kid a screwdriver. I was 15. All right. Fallers. Khalil Herbert. C.J. Stroud. J.J. McCarthy. Tyrone Tracey. Malachi Corley. Interesting. Tank Bigsby. T.J. Hawkinson. Braelon Allen, Nick Chubb, Roman Wilson, Austin Eckler, Keon Coleman, Alvin Kamara. We'll probably stop at Keon Coleman. I think that was 10. Khalil Herbert, I'm continuing to buy the dip. He is one of those later round running backs that I will trust just based off of the talent. I know that the Bears went out and got DeAndre Swift, but Khalil Herbert could potentially be on the move. The Bears did draft Roshan Johnson last year, put a fair amount of stock into him, and he is a reliable blocker, can play third down as a pass catcher as well. So I think that Roshan has the ability to just fulfill that RB2 spot, but the Bears could just keep all 3, and I still think that they run the ball a fair amount to protect a young Caleb Williams. Like Caleb Williams, they're going to let him off the leash, but at the same time, they've been improving the offensive line. They have good running backs in Swift, Herbert, and Roshan. I think that even if Herbert were to stick around, he has some good spike week value in an offense that should be more improved, should be in the scoring territory more often, and just overall will score more points than the last couple of seasons here. So Khalil Herbert, still a good buy for me. Down 5 spots. Yep, I'll buy that all day. Same thing with C.J. Stroud. I don't know what's going on with y'all, but letting C.J. Stroud fall 14, 15 picks after ADP, sign me up. I'll take him naked. I don't care. Taking him at that value, you're just not letting someone else stack him with good Houston players at value, right? You can easily get, like I said right now, C.J. Stroud 10, 15 picks after ADP. You don't want to let the guy next to you do that. If he's got, Nico or Stephon Diggs, or maybe he's got Mixon queued up. So a good opportunity to make sure that you're, stealing that value from maybe somebody else. I don't really like to go into like a, sniper mode type of strategy, but that's someone that I want to look out for right now that I'm not letting, again, other teams get him at immense value with stacking opportunities. You want to try to avoid that. So yeah, look for his falls. I mean, it says only -4. That would mean a majority of drafts he's not, doing that. But I've seen that happen pretty frequently where C.J. Stroud is falling, like I said, 10, 15 picks after ADP. This is a guy that in a lot of drafts he's going ahead of Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Very, very weird ADP. I wonder if his chart's up and down. Wow, no, it's actually been a huge decline. So pick 49 all the way down to pick 65. Interesting. That's QB6. Position null. He was at QB4. It's crazy in the beginning of May. Just that, post, 2023 hype, I reckon. Let's see. JJ McCarthy. I'm not necessarily buying the dip unless I have stacking opportunities. If I've got, maybe some Packers in week 17. That's who they play, right? Packers. Yeah. They play Packers at home in a dome, week 17. So if I have Packers builds, if I have some Vikings stacking opportunities, I'll use my last pick on him. But I probably used my first pick on Justin Jefferson if I'm drafting JJ McCarthy, because that's all I'm looking for out of him is potentially the last half of the season. I don't trust Sam Darnold as far as I can throw him, but at the same time, it's hard to say with rookie QBs, are they really going to give him, the majority of the season? Like, does Sam Darnold have a 5-game leash, or does he have half the season? It's tough to say because he could come out and have 2 okay games, and that 5-game leash then turns into an 8-game or a 10-game leash, and you're losing JJ McCarthy value. Tyrone Tracey, I'll continue to buy the dip. I just have not bought a ton of Eric Gray. So if I have a Singletary and I'm looking to get like a 6 running back build, I have no problem with that, just because I don't think that the Giants will use Singletary like a Saquon Barkley. I still think that they're going to use Devin Singletary in a committee, and I think that Tyrone Tracey could be valuable because of that. He can catch passes. He's got a good burst out of the backfield. Again, you're not spending a lot on him. Pick 192, you're looking at late round 16 or somewhere in round 17. I'll take a shot on him. Again, another nice opportunity for late round stacks. If you believe in Dan Jones, okay, you can get him mixed up in there. You can get Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Tyrone Tracey stacked up. Theo Johnson, if you want to get cute with the tight end position. So a lot of late round stacking opportunities for the Giants. You can throw in Tyrone Tracey into that mix. I will buy the dip at -3%. Same thing with Malachi Corley. He's a guy that I could see take over as the wide receiver 2 in that group. Garrett Wilson obviously going to demand a huge target share, especially with a reliable quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. Wilson has been fantastic with poor quarterback play. We have to believe that Aaron Rodgers can move him into that like top 5 wide receiver conversation, because he's been a top 12 conversation piece with terrible quarterbacks, right? So emergence of, potential Hall of Fame QB and Aaron Rodgers, you would assume that there's great opportunities for Garrett Wilson, but anyone else that's right behind him that's on the come up, right? Like Allen Lazard, I'm sorry. I don't care how close you are with Aaron Rodgers. Like, you're a couple of years past, high threshold type of opportunities, right? Like, I don't think that Allen Lazard can come home with 8+ touchdowns this year. I could see Malachi Corley having a similar season to like what Brandon Cooks had last year with the Dallas Cowboys. He didn't have a ton of catches, but he had a good touchdown percentage. He had about 7 tutties. So I could see Malachi Corley with a similar type of evaluation come the end of this year in an offense that will pass the ball more, that will be more efficient in the air. So definitely give me some Malachi Corley. It's only a small dip at 3 picks. I'll take that. Tank Bigsby, same thing. A team that likes to run the ball in the Jaguars. They're going to have the need to do so, and it's year 2 for him. So I trust that he's going to be included a little bit more. ETN coming off a huge season, a lot of touches. I think they maybe, hold him back just a little bit, and they open things up more so for a Tank Bigsby so that they can keep ETN fresh for the playoffs and having a good late year run, because that's what the team looks like now. It looks like a team that, could take a deep run to playoffs. They've got a very good offense with, Kirk, like I said, ETN, Ingram. He was a top tight end last year. You bring in Brian Thomas. You pay Gabe Davis another year with Trevor Lawrence, who will actually be healthy coming into this season. I think buying Tank Bigsby, especially if you went 0 RB, he's definitely someone that can help you out, shore up a strong, late round, RB stable, getting like, good RB2s like a Tank Bigsby, like a Dameon Pierce. I don't know if Tyrone Tracey fits that build, but, guys that you're looking at saying, hey, like whether it even be injury or not, I could see this guy having a few spike weeks just because, the team either runs a lot, there's opportunity because they're in scoring territory more often. Very similar to Braelon Allen, who's constantly been a climber. He's actually taken a little bit of a hit. as you see here, minus a little over 2.5 spots. So just a small dip, but as you saw, he was a last round pick, and then he climbed all the way up almost 20 spots here. So he's getting a little bit of the brakes pumped on him here, which I don't mind. I'll buy a little bit of dip, but again, kind of how we saw the price increase for other players. This pick 185 is a good resting point for Braelon Allen. I don't know how much farther he goes above that. Nick Chubb, it's so tough. I've drafted him as my 5th running back plenty of times because it's like, wow, I can do that. That's crazy. But I'm being a little bit more cautious now just because, again, we're getting into July. We're getting into the peak season of fantasy football. And as we approach it, nothing's sounding good for Nick Chubb right now. So I'm being a little bit more cautious. I personally would suggest getting him on your roster now as just your 6th running back. I've got him on as my 5th. I've got him on as my 4th a few times, and that's hopeful that he can come in and provide me at least 5 or 6 solid games down the stretch of the season. I think it will be his goal to come back, but even when he does, what will the team do with him? So I'm cautiously pumping the brakes on him now. I, again, will get him on my roster, but it needs to be as my 6th RB. I want to be I want to be cautious, but at the same time, it's very hard to say no to Nick Chubb. Roman Wilson, Austin Eckler, love these dips here. I was buying a lot of Roman Wilson already. Same thing with Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler is a player who's in my top 5 exposures for all players, right? Like I just continue to buy that value. I trust that the Commanders are going to use him in an efficient way. This offseason, I think when he was looking for a new home, it was really going to be about the fit. It was really going to be about the usage. So I'm hoping that Kingsbury and the Commanders, really spoke to him as far as what his role will be. Again, this is Roman Wilson. You saw a big climb. You're seeing a decline. Some of this up and down, I think, was from the Brandon Ayuk talks. There was some heavy speculation that he would come over to the Steelers from San Francisco. Maybe that's why he's still falling. I don't know. I guess it's not really a big fall here. It's it's 5 spots. Clear path to be the Steelers wide receiver 2. Russell Wilson getting a lot of good talk so far this offseason. This has been a good offense with bad quarterback play. Russell Wilson looking good. Russell Wilson had a nice 2023. It wasn't bad. It's just that the Broncos wanted something else, obviously. I believe when they sat Russell Wilson last year, he was like quarterback 9, quarterback 10, pending your format. So I think that he does provide a big jump to this offense, and potentially Roman Wilson, who could be a nice, low target or low distance of target type of receiver, low ADOT. I couldn't spit out low ADOT. Someone that can play out of the slot, clean up some short yardage action. I prefer Roman Wilson's ADP over like Ladd McConkey. So I do like him quite a bit, and I will buy this dip. Austin Eckler, like I said, same thing. Keon Coleman, I'm not sure where that's coming from. He has the opportunity to be the lead receiver for the Buffalo Bills, but maybe folks are just being a little bit more cautious because, hey, I can get Khalil Shakir cheaper. I can get Curtis Samuel cheaper. So maybe that's more of the factor there. We are going to jump into our draft now. I will get this pulled up here. Hopefully we don't have to wait too long. I typically have poked my head in a little bit early just to try to get a spot, so we weren't sitting around waiting forever. So we may have to sit around and wait for a little bit, but that's all right. We can take a look at maybe some over the last month ADP shifts if we have to wait for a long period here. Let's jump into a draft. I don't know why, but when I pull up Underdog on my PC, I can never find Best Ball Mania 5. I don't know why. Yeah, we got 6 more spots to fill, so we'll be waiting a little bit here. We'll take a look across the last month where you're going to see a lot more significant changes in ADP. 6 more to start if you are looking to jump into the draft. We'll grade your team, review your squad, give any feedback. If you are in the chat, be sure to let us know so that we can get your team up on the board. Juwan Johnson, Nick Chubb, J.J. McCarthy, Ben Sinnott, biggest fallers across the last month. All makes sense, of course. Juwan Johnson, they're saying, could be ready handful of weeks into the season. So taking him as a last-round pick, you can stack him and Derek Carr, round 17, round 18. I don't hate that. I personally drafted a lot of Juwan Johnson before the injury. So I'm feeling a lot better. The news feels more optimistic than it did at the initial injury point. So that makes me happy. Nick Chubb obviously makes sense. We covered. Joe Burrow and C.J. Stroud are interesting just because they fit the mold for like a potential top 5 season. Obviously, C.J. Stroud, one of the better rookie quarterback performances we've seen in a while, probably since Joe Burrow. And he's more loaded up, right? They went out and got Joe Mixon. They went out and got Stephon Diggs. The offense should be very, very good. So that's definitely a dip you want to buy. Again, same thing for Austin Eckler. I'm all over that. Troy Franklin, not as much. I'm not buying as much Troy Franklin as I am Austin Eckler, C.J. Stroud. Alvin Kamara, still buying all that value. I do every year. Like, there's always a huge discount for Alvin Kamara, at least in the past, 2-3 years. We got 3 more spots to fill here. We'll switch over to maybe some top risers. Again, this is over the last 30 days. Braelon Allen, yeah, that's to be expected. We've been covering him in a lot of recent shows. DeMario Douglas, Jalen McMillan, obviously we cover them today alongside Elijah Mitchell. Josh Palmer, up 16 spots. I'm doing my part. I have a lot of Josh Palmer. One to start. Let's see if Josh Palmer is in my top 5 exposure. He's got to be up there. Let's see. Receivers. So I go Brandon Cooks, Devontae Adams, Calvin Ridley, and then Josh Palmer. So he is my 4th most exposed wide receiver at this time. I still feel like there is a clear path for him to either be the top receiver, if not the second best receiver for the Chargers this year. And I think a lot of people are just discounting that team and the player values because of the fact that they think that they're going to run the ball a lot, right? Like, oh, they brought in Greg Roman. That just means that they have to throw the ball a ton. Not necessarily. I mean, are they going to be a top 5 passing team next year? Probably not. But I don't think we need them to be. And I think that if anything, what we've seen out of Justin Herbert the past couple of seasons, maybe we do need to dial it back a little bit in the passing game. I'm getting the draft pulled up here. We're going to be in the 4 spot, the good old 4 spot. Meaning we're probably taking Jamar Chase. I don't know. We'll see. Christian McCaffrey goes first. Very typical. Been seeing a lot more CeeDee Lamb at pick number 1 recently, which is fine. You got to be different. Dare to be different. CeeDee Lamb, CMC, very normal, very straightforward. Joey Bag of Donuts, I've seen him in the streets. See if there's any other names I recognize. No, not unless Paul changed his name to Hi, I'm Paul. Let's see. I'm on the clock, and we are going to go Jamar Chase here. Not going to get cute. I mean, if there was another player I would pull into that spot, it would probably be Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's just the man. I love starting my drafts with Amon-Ra and Ayuk, in the first and second round, getting that nice little week 17 correlation. Ayuk is, typically an easy pick at that, round 2. What is that pick? Anywhere from like pick 20 to 22. He's usually readily available. Jefferson, Robinson, Garrett Wilson. Look at that Amon-Ra St. Brown fall. I was just talking about taking him at pick 4. He goes at pick 8. Garrett Wilson getting that love. I don't know if Hawkeye caught that bit that I just shared about Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson. But, getting some love this morning, Garrett. I love it. Bijan at 6, not abnormal. Of course, Jefferson at 5, very normal. But, yeah, that Garrett Wilson and Bijan set there gave, what is that, Bungus Sniffer? Bungus Sniffer a little bit more value. Breece Hall falling potentially to pick 10 or 11. That's a very good value as well. Usually going around pick 6, 7, 8. So that's not bad. Breece Hall going to fall to 11 or 12. My goodness. Even better. Puka Nacua going at 10. I mean, not abnormal, but I definitely would have taken Breece Hall over Puka there. We got Hi, I'm Paul on the clock. Again, if you're in the chat, be sure to jump in. Marvin Harrison at pick 12, very, very normal. Drake London, Marvin Harrison at the 12-13 turn. I like that. I mean, I don't love Marvin Harrison's ADP, but if you're going to draft him, this is where you have to pick him. It's, typically anywhere from pick 12 to, pick, I've seen him go as late as 17, but very rare to happen. Most people just, take him right at cost. Jahmyr Gibbs after Chris Olave and Drake London. Again, another misprice for me. I just still think that David Montgomery is going to play a bigger role than people believe. That was the same issue last year, and I think that still carries over to 2024. Let's take a look here. Devontae Adams at pick 16, very normal. That team started off A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams. Bungus Sniffer did get the Amon-Ra Ayuk stack. May have been a little bit early for Ayuk, but obviously you're getting the week 17 correlation there. No, Ayuk was right at 17. Right at 17. Like I said, I've gotten him to fall a little bit here. I would still take, a Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, who I'm about to get right now at this pick. Saquon Barkley, a very good value. I would easily, draft him in round 1. So getting him late round 2 is fantastic. Right at ADP, so pick 21, going right at pick 21 for me. In this situation, what I like to do is hero RB. So I don't think I'll get a lot of other running backs for a bit. Maybe pick 75, I think is a good starting point. That would be, pick 75, 76. That would be round 7. So I think from round 3 to 7, we will probably hold off on running back unless we get a very good value. Somebody that falls, anything like that. We are back on the board here. We've got Barkley. We've got Chase already. So we could be looking at Denver or Dallas for week 17. Nothing like that up. Let's go with Cooper Kupp. Again, I like Puka Nacua, but I feel like Kupp and Puka, they can have mirroring type of production, from a week-to-week basis. So give me the better value there for Cooper Kupp. DK Metcalf goes right after. Kyren Williams. Ooh. We got, what is that? Dylan Tumlin. RB. I don't know if you're going to like yourself at the end of this draft, Dylan. But, fortune favors the bold, as they say. Bijan, Taylor, Kyren. I don't mind 2. Even if you went Bijan, Taylor, I still like getting a receiver right here. And you're going to have to go on a run. And it's not that, you can't have success like this. I think that there is a path to success with starting off RB heavy. It's just that what everyone else is going to do around you is going to make it very difficult for you to have that success. And you're going to hate yourself when there's a handful of running backs in round 7, 8, 9 that you're like, oh my God, all these guys fell past ADP. I would love to take one of these guys. And you really can't. You really can't. Because you will need your stable of running or receivers, excuse me. Tank Dell is still a misprice here. I'd rather have Travis Kelce, Trey McBride, Mark Andrews, like any elite tight end over Tank Dell. Only one quarterback has gone off the board, Josh Allen. I'd rather have Jalen Hurts. Rather have Jalen Hurts, rather have Josh Allen. There's just so many other players I'd like at that ADP. Derrick Henry, who is apparently sitting. Hi, I'm Paul has to take him. Like he's got to take him. Let's see what he does. Wow. Derrick Henry falling 7, 8 picks. Wow, that's crazy. But again, that's kind of what you see happen when the draft room identifies someone as, you know, a boomer like Dylan here with the 3 RBs. They're going to attack that position. They're going to try to strong arm you, and that's why you absolutely want to diversify. All right, so this round, Kirk, Pittman, Flowers, Henry finally going 9 picks after ADP. Henry should have gone like where Josh Allen is drafted. Travis Etienne, Amari Cooper. Let's see if Dylan takes a receiver. Let's take a look. See what he does. Lamar Jackson. Wow. Wow. Don't like that. Don't like that, buddy. This seems like a very committed approach. Like this seems very purposeful, which I don't like doing. You know, like you should be playing the board, not creating the board. Because typically what you think you're not going to create what you think you are, essentially, is what I should say. We are going to go. We've got Saquon, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp. We're going to go Trey McBride here. Get that. Oh, man. I don't know if I want to go Trey McBride, though. I'm going to try to do Kelsey and Mahomes. We'll see what happens. Just because I haven't been able to pull it off at this turn in a minute, in a hot second. Yeah, we're going to try to go Kelsey and Mahomes here. Let's see if he falls. There's a good amount of space between me and my next pick here. I was at pick 45, and I'm going to pick 52. So it's going to be tough. And I don't know. Maybe I even go bully tight end just to really piss people off. I think the pick is Mahomes or Hollywood Brown here. Pacheco, Hurts, Jacobs. I think Joey Bag of Donuts. Yeah, I think maybe he takes Mahomes because he just took Pacheco. That would be a smart move on his part. He's going to clip me by 1 pick. But I'm also happy here going Hollywood Brown, Calvin Ridley. A lot of trust with me and Calvin Ridley this year. And I just like that stable Chase, Kupp, Ridley, paired with Barkley, paired with Kelsey. I like that. Trey McBride, also a great fall. Wow, he took Mark Andrews. Yeah, we're gonna go Mahomes here. So we got Mahomes, Barkley, Chase, Kupp, and Kelsey. I like that. Not a build that I'm getting consistently here. So this is a little bit newer for me. Typically spreading things around with a lot of receivers and running backs to start. Not typically going in with the QB tight end early stack, which may not always be like the big suggestion because you can get so much better value with the later round QBs, but I haven't done it in a while, so wanted to give it a shot. Trey McBride after ADP, that was a nice fall. Jaden Reed, Dalton Kincaid, Calvin Ridley, pick 56, like that. That's Bunga Sniffer, good squad. I like that. Amon-Ra, Ayuk, Laporta stacked up there. Travis Etienne, and then Calvin Ridley. That's a good group. I like what the 9 spot did as well. A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, backed up with Derrick Henry, James Cook. I like that. That's a good start. 10 spot, Puka, Gibbs, Tank Dell, Zay Flowers, Chris Godwin. I don't love the Tank Dell pick. He's your second receiver, but you got him stacked up in a solid foursome. So you made up for it, in my opinion. If I'm going to get Tank Dell at that cost, I need to have other good receivers. He just can't be my 2, and then I have like 2 running backs and a tight end here or something like that. That's not going to work for me. At the turn, I'm Paul went with Kyle Pitts, and Rashad White started off receiver heavy with a 4 receiver run: Harrison, London, Pickens, and Kirk. Solid. solid, like that. I've really mixed it up. So Chase, Barkley, Kupp, Kelsey, and then Mahomes. We're definitely not drafting a tight end or another quarterback till the late rounds. So going to be a long receiver run here. Pick 69. Really don't love grabbing Joe Mixon here, but he would be a nice fall. I think we need to be potentially targeting Deontay Johnson here. He's typically going at round 7, but where we're looking at receiver with just Chase and Kupp, I think that getting a reliable, and there he goes. Good job, Dylan, who absolutely needed a receiver. Jaden Reed and Deontay Johnson, his only guys. He absolutely needed that pick. We are going to pass on Jordan Addison here, and we are going to go to running back. We are going to go to Kenneth Walker. That is definitely a circumstance of drafting the quarterback and tight end there with Kelsey and Mahomes. Highlighting that we probably should have taken receivers, but I do like that stack. So we're gonna have to figure it out here. I think it's gonna be Keon Coleman next up. Maybe Jamison Williams. I'm not sure. It's getting very, very thin here at receiver. We're only 2 picks away. I'm not taking Christian Watson. I can tell you that much. JSN is interesting to me, but it's tough for me to not take Keon Coleman just because I can easily see Keon Coleman being the wide receiver 1 for the Bills. It's still tough for me to buy that narrative for JSN with DK Metcalf there. That's literally a huge domino that would need to fall to open up, the floodgates for potential JSN, like elite production. We're back on the clock here, and we are going to go Keon Coleman. Also have to chill out on the week 12 buys for receiver because we have Chase and Coleman both on week 12. I'm not typically a slave to the bye week picks, but when you're getting later in the draft, you need to be aware of those, especially when you're getting to round 8 and you only have 3 receivers. So, like I said, we'll definitely be on the receiver hunt here. I did like the Kenneth Walker. It wasn't a fall; it was right at ADP. But the other players around him, he's the guy I trust to potentially score, 10 touchdowns the most out of this group. Joe Mixon, he would be a guy that could do that. He wouldn't pick ahead of him. But, George Kittle, Jordan Addison, Rashee Rice, Ladd McConkey, David Montgomery, Christian Watson, Kenneth Walker would be the guy that I would, pick again, like I said, to most likely hit 10 total touchdowns there. And this group of running backs right here that's available, Kamara, Jones, Ramondre, Najee, Ferguson, Brooks, Zamir White, exactly why you don't draft 3 straight running backs. Because think of the receivers that you could have had up there at the top of the board versus Jaden Reed, Deontay Johnson, JSN being your top 3 receivers. Doesn't work for me. All right, JSN, Jamison Williams going pick 79, Evan Ingram, Jake Ferguson, Ramondre Stevenson coming up here on pick 83. Nothing like a little orange juice ASMR. Put in one of the whiskey cubes. One of the whiskey ice cubes in with my orange juice. Wish it had whiskey in it. Let's see. Najee Harris. Pick 83. Hi, I'm Paul. It is on the clock. Goes Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones. Nice little double tap there. Went 3 straight running backs. Rashad White, Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones from pick 61, 84, and 85. Good stable. I like that. Good balanced approach, doing it right here. Very much by the book by Hi, I'm Paul. Got some good receiver value. Didn't have to rush to the tight end market here, just like Kyle Pitts kind of fall in his lap. And got 3 reliable running backs that he can count on. Aaron Jones, Kamara, and Rashad White. I like Hi, I'm Paul. I like that build. I've definitely taken a few more liberties than I normally would. Early tight end QB stack, like I said, it's a little more dangerous, but we're here to experiment, guys. We're here to play with it. Have some fun, as the kids say. Yeah, we're very tight up to week 6 and week 12. So we want to be a little careful with those. We're not going to be drafting Joe Burrow. We're not pairing up Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. That's a little bit too dangerous there. Might be looking at Tyler Lockett. Maybe another running back. We're just getting good value here. Not taking Curtis Samuel. Not taking Zach Moss. Not taking James Conner. Yeah, we're gonna pull up. Tyler Lockett because we need to. He's got a week 10 bye. We've now got Chase, Cup, Coleman, Lockett. I certainly like getting Lockett and Coleman rather than, say, getting JSN and then Curtis Samuel. So that feels good. I like that. Probably some Josh Palmer here at pick 100. I'll feel a lot better about my stable. It's very hard for me to pass up Josh Palmer, who just went to Broncos country. Let's ride. He also has Ladd McConkey. Okay. So maybe we don't let him get Jalen. Maybe we don't let him get Herbert. Romeo Dubes. Might be able to get me in on Romeo Dubes. Not sure what I want to do here. Let's go Romeo Dubes. I don't love that pick, but I've gotten a lot of Dontavian Wicks. And Dontavian Wicks is coming up, and I didn't want to push on him. He may not make it to me. I'm up in 15 picks. I don't want to double tap those guys either, but maybe I'll look to move on to Jacoby Myers or Brandon Cooks or probably not Jerry Jeudy, maybe Gabe Davis, just because I've got a lot of Dontavian Wicks. I like Jan Dotson coming up as well. Didn't love the running backs there. Been drafting more Trey Benson recently, but Javonte Williams, don't love that. Don't hate Devin Singletary. He'll be back with Brian Dable with the Giants. I think there's some opportunity to be had there. Very familiar with his skill set. He's going to know how to use him. Tougher room than our last draft. Tougher than a few weeks ago. We had a hiatus last week. But I mostly blame it on Dylan. He started off with those three running backs. Everybody saw that and was like, no. We're going to take them all. I probably should have did the same thing. Maybe avoided the early Mahomes and QBs or Mahomes and Kelsey stack, but we'll see. I haven't gotten the stack in a while, so I'm happy with it. I've definitely gotten a lot more Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews. That build has been a little bit more friendlier. Pretty sure it's the same thing, round 4, round 5. Yeah, I got Kelsey round 4, round 5. Lamar went 4. Yeah, Andrews went 5. Very similar. But I've gotten more of the Lamar Andrews version. And typically like my teams, the way that they turn out. So we got some fallers here. We got Dak Prescott. He's at pick 95 ADP. We're now at pick 112. So he's gone about 17 spots. Continuing to fall here. Bungus Sniffer on the board. He needs a quarterback. Takes Trevor Lawrence over Dak Prescott. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Don't like that. There goes Dontavian Wicks. Yep. We've definitely got some snipers in the draft. That's a fact. And we're going to take Gabe Davis. No problem. Because we've got eyes in this thing. People are definitely on our tails. We are probably going to go running back here. We only have 2. We're at 1, 2, 6, 1. Mahomes, Barkley, Walker, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, Keon Coleman, Tyler Lockett, Romeo Dubes, Gabe Davis, Travis Kelce. It's not the best receiver stable. I would have liked it to be a little bit stronger at this point, but we do what we got to do. We do what we got to do. Gus Edwards, Chase Brown, Zeke Elliott, Jerome Ford, Austin Eckler. Probably going to be Ford or Eckler here for me. Let's see. Broncos country, let's ride. He had sniped me on Palmer. Let's see if he does it again. Let's see if he takes one of those guys. Dak Prescott, okay. Huge fall for Dak Prescott. Huge fall. Let's see. I'm on the clock. Gus Edwards, Chase Brown, Zeke Elliott. Yeah, let's go. Let's go Austin Eckler. The tie is going to the bye week, unfortunately. We've got 2 week 10 buys already. I don't want to load it up. We have no week 14s, so that works. That works. All right, so in this round, with Caleb Williams, he fell 7 picks after ADP. Dak Prescott, he fell very, very far. How far did Tua fall? Oh, Tua actually went right at ADP. He went right at ADP. Let's see what receivers I still like back here. We're up in 14 picks, so maybe Darnell Mooney, Adam Thielen, Roman Wilson, Wan'Dale Robinson, Malachi Corley, who we talked about, Marvin Mims Jr., Jalen McMillan, we talked about him. Devontae Walker's a nice sleeper that I like. Darius Slayton, Tyler Boyd. Really what I like. I mean, I'll take some shots of some other players back here. Greg Dortch we touched on. Jalen Tolbert's got an opportunity to move the needle this year. Rashad Bateman's been getting some camp love. I don't know if I love him, but he's been getting it. He's been getting that juice. Man, if somehow Jahan Dotson fell, that would be a gift. That would be glorious, but I don't think it's going to happen. Even Darnell Mooney's kind of tough. We already have the 3 week 12 buys. Ricky Pearsall was a name that was getting a lot of juice until everyone figured out that Brandon Ayuk isn't going to leave. Yeah, not happening. Sorry. Get into the thick of it here. I'm sorry, but any draft where I can take Austin Eckler and Jalen Polk in the same round is just broken. The Austin Eckler ADP is just shattered. Like, I just don't get it. It's just completely mispriced. Rounds 12 to 18. Let's go. There goes Jahan Dotson, Jermaine Burton. Trying to think of if I want to get one of these decent quarterbacks. Jared Goff at 141 is lovely. Lovely. But does he make it? Does Hawkeye 91 take him? He does not. He takes Jerome Ford. Wow. And these guys ahead of me both have 2 QBs, so I don't know if they do it. I just think it's a good pick right here. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna take Jared Goff here. Screw it. Some naked Jared Goff. It's just a good pick. Pick 141 is ADP's 126. I'm really hurting at receiver. Maybe I'll throw Khalif Raymond in there, Something weird, something funky. I'm not opposed to just taking good value, and that's exactly what he was. So, gimme dot, I take it. I think we're going Jaleel McLaughlin here. Maybe Kamani Vidal. Not sure. Marshawn Lloyd still available. Really hurting myself. This is a poorly built team based on bye weeks. I'll tell you that right now. No problem saying as much. Yeah, let's go Marshawn Lloyd here. Little stack with Romeo Dubes. I like that. Let's see. Adam Thielen went a pick ahead. He went at pick 147. ADP's 156. Doing your part, Joey Bag of Donuts. Doing your part, increasing that Adam Thielen cost. Look at all these quarterbacks back here. I feel so silly taking that Patrick Mahomes character. I could have easily had Herbert and Cousins. I would do that all day. Herbert, Cousins, maybe sprinkle in some Bryce Young, some Derek Carr. That's the way to go. That's typically how I do a lot of my builds. Is good value quarterbacks in the back end of my draft. But you got to take your shots at the top guys every now and again. I probably only have like 3 shares of my 75 teams with Patrick Mahomes. So you got to get your exposure to the top guys too. You got to create all the sorts of different paths to high yielding results. There goes Jaleel McLaughlin. Tough out here. We are up in 10 picks. Roman Wilson looking real nice. Probably gonna go off the board though. Rashad Bateman wouldn't be bad. Wan'Dale Robinson, I could live with that. We also only have 4 running backs. We're at 2-4-6-1. We definitely need 2 more receivers for sure. So we could do, let's see, 8 and 2. Yeah, 2-6-8-2 is probably the way to go here. But we're up in 6 picks. Man, another huge fall for a quarterback. Justin Herbert going to fall probably 30-plus picks. It's crazy. This was not the draft to take Mahomes. I'll live with it. I'll be all right. But, yeah. Tough looking at my receivers right now. My receivers are definitely more built up more consistently. That helps you guys a little bit. Oh, let's see. From pick 152, we went Gibson, McLaughlin, Stafford, Algier, Cousins, Nick Chubb, Ray Davis, Rashad Bateman, Troy Franklin, Kamani Vidal, Justin Herbert. 29 picks. 29 picks after ADP. Wow. Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Wright. That puts me on the clock. Excuse me. And we're going to go ahead and grab Roman Wilson, a climber that we've discussed. 5 picks past ADP. Woo! Woo! The value. Goodness, the value. Somebody here, maybe maybe these guys take a third QB. You could do Rodgers, Malachi Corley stack here. If you're hanging out in the corner, Marvin Mims Jr. went after me. Let's see, I might take Michael Wilson here, get some week 17 correlation with Cooper Kupp. I think that's what I'm going to do. There goes Chuba Hubbard. Look at those quarterbacks. Crazy. Yeah, we're going Michael Wilson. We can't take another week 12 bye. I'll take a shot on Malachi Corley, but it's not going to be today. We've already got Chase, Coleman, Gabe Davis. I'm not putting in, 4 of my 8. Sorry. No one wants to be the bye week slave, but half of your receivers out in 1 week. I mean, come on now. Let's be practical. We do need another tight end. Maybe Mike Gesicki. Pair him up with old Jamar Chase. I would go Jonnu Smith, but he has the same bye week as Kelsey, and we're only going to go with 2 tight ends. Jatavian Sanders, pick I love. Yeah, probably Sanders. Yeah, probably Sanders or Gesicki here. But I won't need to take them right away. Top of the board right now, Jesus Christ, you still have four quarterbacks up there. Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield, Geno Smith. My goodness. My goodness. Aaron Rodgers goes at pick 179. His ADP is 162. Wow. Yeah, I'm very envious of all these guys in the back end that got all this great quarterback value. I mean, I got a great value on Jared Goff. I would certainly rather have Jared Goff 15 picks after ADP in round 12 than Aaron Rodgers with his big fall. My most exposed quarterback is actually Will Levis. And let's see, he just went at pick right at ADP. Will Levis right at ADP. Not at a value, right at cost. Very interesting. Very interesting. We are up in 6 picks, and we've got 3 selections left. We're most likely double tapping RB and 1 tight end. And I think we probably just wait till the last round to take another tight end. And we just live with whoever we get. In this spot, I'm thinking maybe Khalil Herbert. I'm thinking, probably Khalil Herbert. You got Tyrone Tracey here. A couple of names that we've discussed. Dameon Pierce. Not so much into buying Donta Foreman. It sounds like he'll have a role, if if Nick Chubb is going to have these struggles getting back, then you would assume that, hey, run heavy team like the Browns, Donta Foreman's got to get some run, right? So something to consider there. Deshaun Watson, he's going to fall 20. What is this? If I took him, that would be 27 picks after ADP. Good Lord. If I took Baker Mayfield, that would be 20 picks after ADP. If I took Geno Smith, that would be 18 picks after ADP. The spoils went to those who were patient on quarterback in this draft. They saw what I did, and they saw what Dylan did, and they were just like, going to bend these guys over a little bit. Malik Washington, that's an interesting pick in round 16. Malik Washington, pick 190 ADP. Was that 214? Yeah. Yikes, 24 picks ahead of ADP. Just goes to show you how bad the receiver run was in this draft. I don't love my receivers, but I can live with them. All right, and Dameon Pierce goes 1 pick ahead. Ouch. Mike Gesicki goes a couple of picks ahead. You can't snipe me, all right? You just can't. I'm always going to have somebody else I can pick, okay? So relax. 2, 6, 8, and let's take a look at tight end. Yeah, Jelani Woods, Juwan Johnson, Jatavian Sanders, Colby Parkinson, Dawson Knox, Tucker Kraft, Theo Johnson, Greg Dulcich. Yeah, nothing impressive here. Nothing impressive. Zach Ertz. Do we want to live dangerously? Draft some Zach Ertz. Going to start the season as a starter. Kelsey's bye is week 6, so I think Zach Ertz can play till week 7. I think that's totally possible. Strong run of late round running backs here. Round 17, we've got CEH, Dame Pierce, Tyrone Tracey, Donta Foreman, Tank Bigsby. Let's see if we can keep the run going here, Hawkeye. Javon Baker. And that was that. Tyler Boyd. It's over. If you are in the chat, you can show yourself. I won't steal your players now. I can tell you that. We won't take your players. We will review your team. Trey Tucker going. I mean, that's, again, crazy draft for receivers. Madhu took Franklin, Luke McCaffrey, and Trey Tucker, his last 3 receivers. Like, dang. Got to be a team in here that's like completely receiver rich. It's not me, and I took a receiver 76, 93, 100, and 117. It's probably these guys in the back end of the draft, like Hi, I'm Paul. Let's see who else. No. Tough to say. Pretty spread out. Had a run of receivers there. Javon Baker, Tyler Boyd, Trey Tucker, Zay Jones, Juwan Johnson, Jatavian Sanders. There he goes. Russ Wilson, Dan Jones, JT Sanders. You're going to make it tough on me. Maybe I'll go with Theo Johnson. I wonder what his draft percentage is. Only 12%. Maybe that's the pick there. He's been as low as pick 215. He's up at 214. So pretty much buying him at his basement. Dan Bellinger, he's coming into the season with an injury. So I'm not sure how if that'll play a role or not. But Theo Johnson, rookie tight end with a path to production. Hayden Hurst, Greg Dulcich. Very interesting. Greg Dortch. Jelani Woods, Colby Parkinson, Dawson Knox, Tucker Kraft, Theo Johnson, Michael Mayer, Zach Ertz. I'm going back and forth between Zach Ertz and Theo Johnson. Let's go Theo Johnson just because I feel like the DC offense is still a little bit deeper. I know that they have Malik Neighbors, but, I mean, after Malik Neighbors and Devin Singletary, you can't tell me that, like, oh, well, Wan'Dale Robinson for sure is the next guy. Darius Slayton for sure is the next guy. Like, I just don't see that. So I'll take my shot. I don't think I have any Theo Johnson. I believe that was my first stab. All right, so we went Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff, naked Jared Goff at that. Excuse me, Saquon Barkley, Kenneth Walker, Austin Eckler, Marshawn Lloyd, Khalil Herbert, Tyrone Tracy, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, Keon Coleman, Tyler Lockett, Romeo Dubes, Gabe Davis, Roman Wilson, Michael Wilson, Wilson, and Davis there. Nice little law firm to round out the last 3 receivers. And then we got Travis Kelce and Theo Johnson. It's not the best draft that I've done, but it's certainly not the worst. I will say I'm a little bit regretful, like you could kind of tell during the draft about the Mahomes and Kelce stack, because this would have been a good draft to leverage a good receiver stable. Maybe I didn't even need to make the Saquon pick, but I did take him right at ADP. Starting off, Chase and Barkley felt good. I definitely haven't done that a lot, so having a good different start feels nice. But no, I don't hate it. I don't love it though. I'd give it a 7.2.5, a 7.3.5, something like that. Yeah, not a home run, but we'll call it a double. I think we hit a decent double. I think we're sitting on second base here. So, all right, very fun start to the day. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you were able to get in on some draft action with us. I know no one wanted to show themselves, but there were definitely some sniper-like behaviors in the draft. So I do think a couple of you were watching, maybe not wanting to show yourself. It's okay. Let yourself be seen next time. Let yourself be heard. You can still snipe all my picks regardless. We are going to head on out. Before we do, be sure to smash the like button. Be sure to share the video and follow Fantasy Six Pack on YouTube, on Twitter, on the X, on Facebook, on all your socials. Take care. Be well. Be good. Have a happy 4th of July. And, of course, if you can't be good at it. I'll see you.